Like you divide it by 100, so it's like the equivalent of 8 views on a YouTube video. It's really low numbers from someone. Like if you're just getting started on TikTok and you're nobody with nothing to say, just doing a little dance, maybe it's harder, yeah? But if you've actually got actual content and you've been on it for ages and you've had huge viral moments in the past with recent true crime events, you should be pulling, like, you know, bigger numbers than this. And this feels like the result of having faked all your views for ages and pumped in all these fake numbers and got all these fake views, drawn a crowd, created a fake crowd. Now you've drawn a few, maybe. But you're right, it could be just fake views as well, just in smaller doses. But then you compare them to, like, this one that got 70,000. It feels like if you're consistently getting 8, 9, 8, 6, whatever, and then you get 70... and then 80, like, feels like that's been bought, doesn't it, that one? And then this is where he can't be asked to buy them because he's away doing something else. Maybe he buys them while he's sat at the computer, and he's not sat at the computer at the moment. He's away, so he can't buy them. You know, so they're just chugging along at the bottom ebb. Low ebb. Maybe that. Minky, do you want to come here? Come here then. Yeah, but not under my feet, because... There you are. But yeah, has Alan used hashtags to get views? Yeah, probably. He's got hashtag Kate Middleton, yeah. Hashtag King Charles, Princess Diana, hashtag Camilla, hashtag Prince Harry, hashtag Nostradamus. Yeah, he has used hashtags, yeah. I think that's his low ebb. I think after all the effort and work on TikTok, if he puts out an average shit weird TikTok, he gets about, what's it coming up to there? 10,000 views. And on YouTube, that would be about 100 views. Like, you really do divide it by 3. For, like, when I say, sorry, you divide it by, you take 3, 0. Divide, I'm getting high now. I can't do basic maths, I'm getting high. I can feel the high coming on. So... I think that's where I'll stop eating the cake as well and decide to see how high it makes me tonight, and then I can decide how high I want to get in the future. I wish I didn't have a hurty chest before I started, because, like, I know that when I'm high I'm going to be like, now that I'm high, how about being paranoid about my hurty chest? Maybe play some Genshin. We're going to, but we've got to watch these funny TikToks first. They won't be long, but they're going to be really funny. And I have to talk about them a bit. I don't know if I can do a proper reaction if I get high, though. I'm not going to play loads, though, because it's nearly 1 o'clock at night. I need to get an earlier night tonight. Let's see how this goes. The bottom line... God, all the cat hair is tickling me now. I'm being attacked by all the animals now. Bottom line... as Phil likes to say, is Alan has done a fucking weird thing. Like a really weird thing. Nostradamus. Nostradamus. Do you know who Nostradamus is? Yes. He's famous for making predictions, isn't he? From the history, made loads of predictions. Did he get loads of predictions right? Some. Have you read his works? No. But I've read someone on the internet who has, and they say that he made loads of predictions, and some of them came true because he made loads of predictions. Like loads of predictions. Like, I can predict your dinner tomorrow if you'll let me say enough predictions. Yeah? I'll eventually, if I say enough foods, you're going to eat one of them, and then I'll be right. So that's Nostradamus. He said loads of stuff and it wasn't all correct and it doesn't all make sense. It's just, we now use him as a sort of colloquial, we use him as a sort of meme to understand someone who predicts the future. But I don't know what Alan's going to use him and how, but it's going to be funny, yeah? we're just going to do this. Let's have quickly my Firefox, my special Firefox window. No, okay, I'm already making mistakes. It's one of these windows. It's one of my windows. There it is. Look, that'll be it. Do.
It's time to report that it looks like the...
Okay, wait. Firefox. That's not right. Sorry, if you're watching this and on YouTube and you're thinking, this isn't as snazzy. Scott's not as switched on as he normally is. It's because I'm feeling the effects of a cake that I just ate full of cannabis. King Charles ready to step down. William ready? William ready? Go.
It's time to report that it looks like the King Charles is almost ready to step down and hand over the reins of the country to Prince William.
This is something Alan has simply made up. No one has said this. The idea of abdication has flirted around with Charles before. He's not going to abdicate.
According to reports coming out from Buckingham Palace, Camilla is urging the king to step down for health reasons. And also, of course, Parliament is saying it that there is an act that can come into play. If the king is unable to perform his duties, then he must step down. It won't be the first time that we've lost a monarch.
A monarch. We all know, of course. No, most people on TikTok probably don't remember about Edward, who abdicated so he can go and be with the American lady.
About Edward VIII and, of course, Simpson, the controversy on that. But it has happened at other times as well. This is a possibility that royal matters will be set down to Prince William.
He still hasn't, listen, he still hasn't said abdication because he can't say the word abdicate and abdication, can he?
Any of us ever expected. Of course, with the cancer of the future king's, well, our future queen.
Is he all right? He seems to be like...
Kate Middleton, as they like to call her in America, also suffering from cancer.
You've called her Kate Middleton and you hashtag you dickhead. And you've hashtagged Princess Diana. She's not in this.
It could happen very, very soon to... I mean, we can't go on like this, can we? With the royal dramas. There has to be a solution and a tightening of the truth around the royal family.
What? Are you trying to fill time? There has to be a tightening of the truth around the royal family. What does that even mean? The royal dramas. We can't go on like this. They're just normal family who have normal family stuff going on. They happen to be royal, so there's this other level of it. And people all want to know what's going on. And there will always be, since we've had a royal family, an interest from the common people in what's going on. So you will continue to have a few royal dramas, fueled, of course, by the press and their appetite for destruction. Guns N' Roses song, way.
What is wrong with Charles?
Was it a song or was it an album? Look, don't start me.
That's the next thing that needs to come out.
I don't know if Camilla really said all that. I mean, I don't know. I don't trust 100% that Camilla's all been saying all that. Maybe she had said something like that, but it doesn't really matter because he's the king and she's not. So he's going to go on being the king. And my guess is, since the queen went on being the queen till she died, I think he'll just carry on being the king.
Everyone knows about in the 30s where our King Edward here, the 8th, decided to step down very shortly after
he still hasn't said
really.
abdication. He still hasn't said abdicate. Alan's got a problem with the word abdicate.
And abdicate for love.
Oh, no, he said it then. He said it then. Abdicate. He said it. Oh.
Well, after being king, really, and abdicate for love to...
Did he say it properly, though?
Being king, really, and abdicate for love to...
Abdicate for love.
Well, after being king, really, and abdicate for love.
And abdicate for love. I think it threw him off the next word.
Being king, really, and abdicate for love to Mrs. Wallace Simpson.
He's talking like he's got grapes in his mouth and he's dribbling.
Because he wanted to marry as his divorcee. So that was for love. Mary, Queen of Scots, was forced to abdicate in 1567 in favour...
Someone been on Wikipedia?
...of her one-year-old son, James. Wow.
Wow. He doesn't know anything else about that other than just the fact she abdicated, that he got it off Wikipedia.
And then, of course, we have James II of Scotland.
Are you doing a TikTok about James II of Scotland on your conspiracy true crime TikTok page? Like the TikTok page is all about, like, you know, whipping people up, a bit of drama. Now magazine. What's that goss? James II.
And 7th of England, which it's the same guy, so that's only one. So he dropped the seal of the realm into the Thames. Second was forced to abdicate in 1399 after the power was seized by his paternal first cousin, Henry Bolingbroke.
History lesson from Alan here.
While Richard was abroad. So there you are.
So there you are. I've got it off the internet and I've told you.
It wouldn't be
history lesson from a drunk SO.
First time or even the second. And it seems that Camilla wants it. Seems she wants an end to his reign, hopefully to prolong his life. Now, this can be played out in Parliament by the Regency Act, could come into play if his health...
Do you think there's a politician in this land who feels it would be a good public relations move to go into Parliament and call for the King to step down?
Stops him doing his royal duties? Of course it would go to William. William's already in training. The way he's dealt with his wife being not around, the way he's dealt filling in for his father, it's almost ready to go, of course. William. And then his son.
What does Alan know about William's almost ready to go? He's done his apprenticeship. He knows how to do the wave. He's been up in the helicopter. He's almost ready to go, that one. Play him in the first team next week, I reckon. No, you can't play him in the first team. He's not ready. He's ready. He's ready. Stick him on the bench. Stick him on the bench. We'll sub him in. We'll play him in the first team because it gives, rather than sub him in, we'll play him in the first team. It gives him a bit of confidence boost. We'll sub him off, but we'll play him in the first team. I reckon he's ready to go. Right, show me that Harry in goal. How's he coming along? What do you mean, Meghan Markle?
Prince George will become the new, very young Prince of Wales.
British royal line of succession there. In case you hadn't worked it out. Recent times and events. This one's the next one.
Start learning to be king.
Start learning to be king. He will be king by divine merit. He doesn't have to take an exam.
Charles's cancer may be more.
But I know what Alan's saying. He's saying that, like, you know, the public engagements, the behaviour, the understanding of the role and all that, like, you know, hopefully he'll grow into it well, and hopefully he'll be guided by his parents, I suppose, because he'll be like the king, so it'll be hard for anyone else to guide him.
Previously believed, and as you know, they don't tell us a lot. But maybe his mother should have stepped down a bit earlier. I mean, there is that thought that's being echoed around now.
In the position.
Didn't you like the Queen?
For 70 years, you know, and the longest reign. I think that she could have used some term limits. Why not?
Get fucked. We're very proud of the fact that she carried.
Step down and let Charles have stay in the sun. The poor guy, he finally gets to be king, and now he has an illness. It doesn't seem fair.
I think that's a comedian.
There's something wrong about it.
The late Queen Elizabeth should have abdicated the throne earlier in her 70-year reign, so that King Charles could have what she called his...
What is Marker TV? Bon video.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas tardes a todos. Bienvenidos a este super viernes que hemos...
Do you know what? I didn't know who that was. I didn't know who that was. I was like, who's talking to me in my headphones? My headphones went whoosh. I thought, who's talking to me? It's them. I thought, where did that come from? I haven't opened any windows. It's them on their Marsa. Bienvenidos a la casa del deporte. Somos marca. El canal de YouTube de todos los aficiones. Nos acompañas. Bienvenido a la casa del deporte. A la casa del deporte. Bienvenidos. Look, basically, good afternoon. This is the house of Marsa. It's a channel on YouTube for today's news. No complaints. Something like that. Una foto contra el racismo. Why is Alan watching this on his channel? What the fuck's wrong with the man? It's this Spanish news.
Day in the sun. Now, the king faces a similar decision on whether or not to step down due to his health. If
He doesn't. Like, they're making all this up to sell papers because they can't sell any more papers about Kate, so they're trying to, like, sell another paper today while people are talking royal. I think that's nonsense. Right, the next one.
Know that Prince Charles has got...
I love the way these just jump in. I love the way there's no pause at the start of this one. It's just... Know
that Prince Charles has got cancer.
Wait, it's a bit quiet though, isn't it? So I'm going to have to do the old booster. Settings, audio, volume down a bit. 2. Right. Then over here, filter. Desktop audio, filters, compressor. Compressor, I don't even know.
No, the rumours are swirling around that he's going to have to step down because it's so bad.
You're making the rumours right now. Listen,
predicted.
Alan, you fucking idiot. This is the same as what happened with Catherine just a minute ago, just last week. You did all the rumours, and then you say the rumours are swirling around. You are swirling them.
By Nostradamus.
Predicted by Nostradamus. Oh, I think Alan is fucking high this weekend, I'll tell you that. I think Alan has been to the fucking moon this weekend. That's where I think he's been. He's been up on Mars. Higher than me, and I've had a cake with some hashish in it.
In the 16th century by a Frenchman. Now, citing his 1555 text in the prophecies, the report said that Nostradamus predicted that the king...
So this is someone else's YouTube video then, Alan? And you've watched it and thought, right, I'm doing that on YouTube, on TikTok. That's mine now. Nostradamus. Kate Middleton. What?
Nostradamus, who asserts he foretold the Queen's demise. A 36-year-old Brazilian mystic named Athos Salome has claimed to have predicted the death of the late British monarch, the spread of the coronavirus
This is just fucking nonsense then, yeah?
for Princess Catherine in 2025, according to a self-proclaimed living Nostradamus, who asserts he foretold the Queen's demise.
According to a self-proclaimed living Nostradamus. Has Alan got his wires crossed here?
A 36-year-old Brazilian mystic named
A 36-year-old Brazilian mystic
Athos Salome
named Salome has predicted this. Is there actually a Nostradamus predicts Charles? Daily Record. There you go, the Daily Record. 1 year ago. 1 year ago, though. But maybe it's like come up again in the trend algorithm in some way. Somehow Alan's got the hold of this from a year ago anyway, and it's come up and he's thought, this is mine now. Look, here it is. If one interpretation of Nostradamus' predictions are to be believed, King Charles' time on the throne will be short-lived. But it doesn't tell you the Nostradamus, a man who never expected to become king will succeed him. Like, it didn't literally, like, this doesn't actually have the Nostradamus text or anything. It's just sort of telling you stuff in the Daily Record, and the Daily Record's not known to be the best, most solid media, you know, for truth. This is literally just some padding and nonsense that Alan's found. Maybe it's come up again from a year ago. I don't know why or how, but I think it might have come up in the algorithm again. He's obviously watching a lot of YouTube anyway, isn't he? Like, he's obviously watching a lot of YouTube. The sad, sad bastard.
May have to abdicate, and someone else would take over the throne. The King of the Isles would be driven out by force and replaced by one who has the no mark of king. British author Mario Redding, who wrote the book Nostradamus, The Complete Prophecies for the Future, analysed it and said because they disapprove of his divorce, the man who would later be considered trustworthy, the people will force out the king of these islands and he will be replaced. Wow. Now, of course, if you don't believe Nostradamus, we have to remember that he predicted that Queen Elizabeth II would die at the age of 96.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Why is Alan so like when he's doing all this talking on this? Like, what's going on with him?
At the age of 96, this gives credence to his prediction that the people would force out the king. Well, that actually, tell me what that actually means. There was an act in Parliament. I don't know if you know this, but Parliament is above the king. Parliament is above the king, and they have an act that...
Is Parliament above the king? I thought the king was... Alexa, is the king above Parliament, or is the Parliament above the king?
Sorry, I don't know that.
I thought the king, like, you know, they had to go to ask the king for the permission to form the government, you know, and the king had the final seal, but obviously the king wasn't going to go against it, but they are the king's parliament. I thought the king was above the parliament. But it's like a token gesture that the king's not going to sort of go, no, you can't do those laws, fuck off. Like, it's like they don't have, it's like a sort of agreement that, you know, who is above the king or the parliament. Parliament possesses legislative supremacy and holds ultimate power over all other political bodies in the United Kingdom. While Parliament is bicameral, it has three parts: the sovereign, king in Parliament, the House of Lords, and the House of Commons. So the king is part of it. It's like the king doesn't really have actual power, does it? Because, like, you know, it's a figurehead, it's a token thing, like, but theoretically, like, the king has royal prerogative powers. The monarch acts on ministerial advice and then puts the rules into, you know, it's the king that's like seals the rules at the end of it on the advice of the ministers. But obviously they just do what the ministers said. Like, you know, they seal the rules that the ministers tell them to. But the king is part of the parliament as well. Parliament has three parts: the sovereign, the House of Lords, and the House of Commons. So the king is part of the parliament.
Can make Charles step down if they want to If they wanted to push him out, they can, to be honest. Nostradamus was right. He could be forced out by the people being Parliament. This is spooky, guys. What do you think? Is it even possible that...
I think this was put in place because we had people like King George, didn't we? I think this is about if they go a bit nuts and start cutting off heads. I think it's more likely that if Charles is a bit poorly, they'll just be really polite about it. And then, when he dies, then they'll do a new king, like they did with the Queen.
Frenchmen in the 1660s would know about the consistent unit, explain the Regency Act hundreds of years before now? Well, the Act says if he can't carry out his duties, he has to step down. Nostradamus says the man will step down. Charles will step down. How could he be more right? He can't be.
Where's that background music from? Is that from this? Or do you think they put out another video today with the same content somewhere else, because they thought, we've got that old video about Nostradamus, let's put that out again on the newspaper. But Alan's has got a little bit of strange background music. Maybe just put other music over it to try and avoid the copyright.
Really? This is like echoes from the past coming through to today. Does this mean that Charles will step down? Was Nostradamus right? Well, I can tell you, he was totally right about our Queen Elizabeth. When he wrote this about my favourite royal, Queen Elizabeth II, the death of the Queen, who died in 2022. Queen Elizabeth II will die circa 22. He got the year right. And listen to this, at the age of around 96. Well, it was spot on. Nostradamus stated the year she would die and her exact age. How can that be? How can that be? I don't get it. And I don't want to get it, really, because it's so scary. Our Queen will die in the year 22, which she did, and she will be circa 96. Well, in the 1660s, nobody lived to the age of 96.
She won't be circa 96. It said she will die circa 2022, and that's the date. It's about the date. Circa is approximately, isn't it, in terms of the date? I'm quite high, so around 96. So he wasn't. Or he circled the exact date. It's a Latin, isn't it? Hang on. Alexa, what does circa mean?
As a noun, circuit is usually defined
Alexa,
as an act or...
what does the Latin word circa mean?
Circolo. In English is...
Alexa, stop. I know this in my general day-to-day. Approximately, yeah, I was right, sorry, approximately. The church was built circa 1860, approximately. So it means approximately, not exactly. And he does... Sorry, it's because I'm high and the cat's meowing and things are going on. This is... I'm not going to fall asleep, I'm not tired. I'm just getting messed about by the animals. I've got that pain, that rib thing. Alan's got... Look, let's get this right. Alan's got this wrong. He can't read properly. He said he doesn't understand what Nostradamus was saying. I didn't really get it. No, he doesn't get it. It's not scary. It's just a load of nonsense. Real nonsense. The man's high.
Guys, the average age in those days...
I'm high, but he's more high.
This was 50. How would he know about a queen in England who would live almost twice as long as most
people?
And he
didn't. That was even the way they reported it. He didn't. He got loads of things wrong. He's not some magical mystic. He just by sort of spitball approach managed to hit some things that sound a bit like they might. You didn't read the text. You don't know. You're just reading what the Daily Record said. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Wow.
Know that Prince Charles...
The most stupid thing I've ever heard. So he's done two of them.
To further shock you in Nostradamus, who told you that the Queen will die in year 22 and she will be 96, who told you the King is in trouble, the King who had a divorce is in trouble, and he will have to step down before the end of his reign, which seems to be correct, also said, believe it or not, that the man that takes over as king will not be the man in succession, but one who does not have the mark of king. Well, that would be the spare. The spare does not have the mark of king. William does. And even if it wasn't William, it would be his son, the future Prince of Wales, not Harry. Harry's not in line. Nostradamus, what do you know? Who is the one that will have
ask Nostradamus who's going to win the poker in Malta.
No mark of king? How does it go from succession of William or William's son?
This literally sounds like Anna's spent all night awake on cocaine and he's like literally questioning this. How does Nostradamus know? And Nostradamus has said that it's going to go to the one that doesn't have the mark. So that would have to be Harry. But how is it like? It's like he's totally now bought into this and he 100% believes what Nostradamus says is going to happen. But how is it going to happen?
Harry. This is a mystery.
A mystery?
But he's right so many times.
He's wrong a lot.
The only
as well.
way this could happen is if, it's a far-fetched if, William takes his family out of the firing line because of Kate, and he himself says he doesn't want to do it. And if he doesn't want to do it, obviously his son will not become king, will he? At such a tender age. And then the next in line would be, guess who? Yeah, you're right. Harry. The spare could get it in the consequences that Prince Charles, because of his health, either no longer with us or...
The spare could get it. The way he talks about these things. The spare could get it.
Or he steps down and William says, I'm not doing it because of what it's done to Kate. It's like, I saw what happened to my mother. No, I'm not doing it. And he takes his family out of line. And in steps...
So why would he be going through with all this process, pageantry? Like, why would he be, like you said in the last video, that he was going to make a really good king because he was already, like, trained up fully. Like, you think he's going to just decide to turn it and, do you know what? I've decided not to, actually. Decided not to. Sorry.
The spare. The reserve. What would the Queen think of this? Wow.
It's not going to happen, so she would think it's nonsense.
The spare. Predicted by Nostradamus.
Nostradamus, not Nostradamus. Nostradamus. The belth. Alan was talking like he got the belth. Not Nostradamus. Alan was talking like he got plums in his mouth. Not Nostradamus. Nostradamus now. Like the cathedral. Nostradamus.
The spare. Predicted by Nostradamus. The man of no mark of king. To be the next king of England.
Oh.
Is this even possible?
Or could it be that what's his name, who's going to be the king, is not actually Charles's son? How about that? Could it be that... Like, why am I doing conspiracies now? But he doesn't have the mark of king because he's not really Charles's son. Not this one, but the other one. I can't remember the names properly. William. Perhaps William's not really in line to be king because he's not really Charles's son. So he doesn't have the mark of the king. But he still gets to be. Ooh, there's a way of thinking of it. Nostradamus.
Has been right so many times.
The Hunchback of Nostradamus.
And would Harry want it even? I wonder. British author Mario Redding, who tried to interpret all this for us, the complete prophecies, who died in 2017, And he worked out that it said that the Queen would die in 22 and she would be 96. So he also interpreted that the king would be forced out. Well, this could be because of illness. And he'd be forced out by a man who never expected to be king. And the truth is, the reapproachment between father and son, King Charles and Harry, is being healed. That rift is being healed. But his brother, Prince William, wants nothing to do with him. Well, we have to sit back and wait and see if Nostradamus is right again. I can't see it at the moment. It's hard to find out a way that would work. Because, don't forget, after William, it's the very young Prince George.
This is not a detective mystery that you have to solve. What Nostradamus said hundreds of thousands, or whatever, not thousands, like hundreds of years ago, isn't relevant now. Not really. People don't generally think he's correct on all sorts of stuff. He said some stuff that, it sounded a bit like this, and that when he said that, he could have meant that, and like it's all been a bit of fun. But really, we all know that Nostradamus has not predicted all the future, and like it's just a thing that people say. And I can't believe that Anna's taking this so seriously in the way he's delivering it. It's a bit of fun, a bit of filler from the newspaper, padding for people who like. This is just bizarre. Like, this really is bizarre.
Not the Duke of Sussex, who's 1, 2, 3, fourth, or third in line. How can that come about?
Like, you would think that this is just a bit of a joke video from Alan, wouldn't you? You would think that this is just him messing about, trying to jazz up his TikTok with something royal because there's nothing to say. He saw this fun video on the news, on the internet, and he's stolen it and he's made his TikTok out of it, yeah? You think that's what it is. But I honestly think he's so delulu, off his head, delusional, like high as a box, like, and he's got high all night, and he's decided to make some TikToks, and he's seen this while he's fucking, like, spangled, and he's made this TikTok while he's spangled, and he thinks it's serious, and he thinks Nostradamus tells the future, and that therefore we can find a way of, like, if we can find a way of fixing Nostradamus's thing into how it works, then he could solve the case of what's going to happen in the future with the royal family. Like, it's nonsense of the highest order.
See how this prediction can come true. Prince William is young, and Prince George is just a little boy. How does Nostradamus get Harry to be king from this point? Well, this time last year...
Why does it have to be Harry? He does have the mark of the king. He's his fucking son, theoretically.
We didn't expect Prince Charles to have cancer and Kate Middleton to have cancer. And he was right about the divorce from Diana being the downfall of the monarchy.
Look, this is stupid, isn't it? This is the most stupid thing I've ever heard anyway, because could you imagine, right? Could you imagine what would happen in the UK if Charles, like this, let's say you wake up tomorrow, Charles has decided he's not going to carry on being king. He's abdicating. And you think, wow, this is big news. But we've got William, and he's going to be good in it. And then William comes out the same day, that afternoon, says, I've had a think as well, and I'm fucking this off. I'm taking my kids out the loop too. We're all just going to move to America like Harry and Meghan did. We're off. Fuck this. Like, that's his statement, yeah? Like, and then Harry and Meghan, like, by that evening, have decided they're flying back in a hurry. Meghan and Harry are flying back in a hurry. And like Harry's there on the steps of 10 Downing Street, on the steps of Buckingham Palace at the end of the, like, by the end of the, like, we've had 2 press conferences so far. I went to press conference 3. By the end of the day, he's there. I will do my duty for the country. Meghan will make a great queen. And like, what do you think would happen? Like, do you think the country would just be like, yeah, okay, everyone in the country's happy with that? Like, it would trigger a massive reaction. Loads of people don't like Meghan. You'd get civil unrest. I'm not saying there'd be riots, but there'd be protests. Then you'd have the court. Like, then you'd have this thing in Parliament where they're discussing, like, the royals and their position. Like, you'd have to have it. There might even be a call for them to disband and not exist anymore. Like, as a PR move, like, no one in the royal family is going to think this is a good idea. Even if William and Harry don't want to do it, right? Harry's not going to think it's a great idea to inflict his authority on the situation and say, right, Meghan's the Queen now, because he knows there'd be a big backlash. He's literally gone away from it all and moved away. Like, I think if you offered him the King's position now, he'd say, well, I've just done all this upheaval trying to get away from it all, so probably no. Probably no. I'm all right with my family and my stuff that's going on. I've got my private interests and my companies. I've set all this up. I'm all right. I don't need it, really. And like, then where would you go to? Hopefully we'd get Princess Charlotte to do it, and then she could just do it, and then that's that. Like, it just... What? Oh, no, she can't, because they're taking her out as well. It would just be silly, wouldn't it? It'd be the most silly thing you'd ever heard. I can't imagine William doing it. The whole point of the transition, you know, him, like, I don't care what Nostradamus has said. Zara and Mike Tyndall can do it, yeah. But listen, I don't care what, I'm not having a debate about whether the monarchy's good or not, right? But I don't care what, Nostradamus said. Who on earth thinks that it's likely that William is going to abdicate, and not only abdicate, but remove his family from the line of succession as well for their own safety? Like, unless he gets kidnapped, like in a film or something, it's not going to happen, is it? He's going to make a really good king, and he's going to be the king. And we'll all just live in the real world.
Look what it's led to. The further...
And except Alan's TikToks are not, are they? Alan's TikToks are la 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 lulu blue blue la la blue blue land. That one's all pink, so that looks like a photograph off a video. That's what he does, isn't it? He takes a laptop with him, he opens up the laptop and he photographs it on his phone to make the videos. That's what he's doing, isn't he? And that's why it's got the pink tinge to it. The fucking idiot. So I imagine he videos the things just by recording them on his phone sometimes like that as well. He's a sad bastard. So there's Alan's Nostradamus ain't my hamster. If you get that on YouTube, you'd be good. And if you can't be good, you're naughty. I don't see much in that myself, but maybe we put it as members. You're watching it now, though. So you got that. You watched it. Maybe it's all this talking that's making my chest feel pain. Drunk talking, yeah. But I think there's another level to it, isn't there? Like, you're a grown-up. Everything I've just said about Nostradamus aside, like, you've heard of Nostradamus. Okay, this is chat time, yeah? In chat, you've heard of Nostradamus, yes or no? Before now, you've heard of Nostradamus. Sorry, Nostradamus. You've heard of Nostradamus, yes or no? Let's have that in chat as a you have, yeah. Dover and Dolly's mum says yes. Lisa says yes. You've heard of that, yeah? Yeah. So, next question for you is, do you think that they can tell the future, and have you been reading their books so that you can tell what's going to happen in the future? Do you think they're a reliable source for telling the future? No. 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 I like the way it's coming in chat. No. If someone did want to say yes, you still can. Don't worry, we're not going to take the piss. But mainly people are saying no. I've got one more question for you, which is this because I've said he's shit, or is it because you've got your own opinion? I don't want to push you into an opinion here, because I've just said it all, but it's not because you've got your own opinion, haven't you? Yeah, no, okay. No. Yeah, you have your own opinion, yeah. So, I have a brain. So, that's just a straw poll, right? It's making me rethink it, though. It's just a straw poll, right? It's vague, you have to interpret it. Well, there you go, yeah. So, it's a straw poll, but my thinking on it is that when you release those TikToks into the world, you're going to look fucking crazy. Yeah? Either it's a joke and people think this is a parody TikTok. Like, let me say it in a different way. I'm going to make you have a TikTok account. you're going to have a TikTok account and I'm going to make you do it, yeah? I'm going to write the script and you've got to say it. And you've got to say it in a straight face like you believe it, yeah? Okay? You've got to do that. And it's going to be about Nostradamus and the truth. Nostradamus. We're going to say this sort of stuff. Like, would you be happy with it to represent it on your CV? Like, I did a load of TikToks that said Nostradamus was predicting the future. Like, you obviously, because you said you didn't agree with Nostradamus, you'd think it would probably be a bad move, wouldn't you? You'd think it would make you look stupid. So, pick up BCTV. We're going back to the future. Yeah, you try not to. You wouldn't want this. Like, let's say you were at work, or like, I don't know, on the bus, or like you meet someone, like you're at the hairdresser, and they say, "What have you been doing recently?" And you say, "Watch this TikTok," and it's you saying that about Nostradamus. You know what I mean? You're on the bus and you sit down next to someone. They say, "Oh, you know, been shopping," and you say, "Oh, watch this TikTok," and it's you saying that about Nostradamus. What do you think they're going to think of you? Like, it's not. You wouldn't do it, yeah. No one would do it. But Alan's done it.
Know that Prince Charles.
Alan's done it with a straight face. The comments here, look. More BS. More BS. It's all rubbish. More BS. Oh my God, are you still rambling on about things you know nothing about? There's a lot of negative comments. I didn't know that. I thought he wouldn't allow them. Not all Nostradamus predictions come true, and much of what he predicted is guesswork. More BS on here. See, this is what I mean. This is an interesting comment, right? From Henry. More BS on here. Not Alan is talking BS, because they don't recognise this as armchair detective. They're just scrolling TikTok, and this is a TikTok. And it's a disembodied voice talking over a picture. So it's just a TikTok, and they say BS on here. Like, they don't think about who's made the TikTok. They're just like, this is just some shit TikTok. Like, Alan is almost faceless in his content, isn't he, quite often? So, like, they don't get an impression of who's doing it. Unlike with the rest of TikTok, where they're actually videoing themselves doing TikTok. All speculation. Charles has been taught by the Queen. No way, says Rose. Like, a lot of people are saying this is stupid, yeah? So, and there's a few of them that are not saying it's stupid, but maybe they are stupid. Alan has not replied to any of the comments. Sometimes he replies to them. Alan hasn't replied to them though this time. But yeah, so if you're in public and you've done that, you look like a dickhead. And it's not a joke. He hasn't done it as a funny. Like, just as like, here's a light-hearted one for you. And finally, did you know Nostradamus predicted it? No, he's made the 1, and then he's made the 2 and the 3, and he's like I said, I think he stayed up all night, or whenever. How long does he? Oh, what have I done? Go back. I think he stayed up all night, and
A further.
When did he do it? 6 hours ago. That would have been dropped. What, 6 hours ago? 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, this would have dropped. And he's all like, he's just, it's like he's dribbling.
Shock you and Nostradamus, who told
Shock you and Nostradamus. Like,
you that the Queen will die in years.
He's slur. I've got nothing against a speech impediment here and there. You know, they can be quite attractive, but Alan's not normally talking like that. He's slurring his words, and it's like he's got. It's like he's eating while he's doing the video or something.
22, and she will be 96. Who told you the king is in trouble? The king who had a divorce is in trouble.
I think he makes these videos while he's lying down in bed. Maybe he's just been masturbating to something on TikTok. I don't know.
And he will have to step down before
Is that funny sound again?
the end of his reign, which seems to be correct. Also said,
Or is he on the toilet?
believe it or not, that the man that takes over as king will not be the man in succession, but one who does not have the mark of.
So, like, it's the way he's made the first one.
Know that Prince Charles has got cancer.
And he seems a bit more normal about it, yeah?
No.
Got background music.
Wow. Now, of course, if you don't believe Nostradamus, we have to remember that he predicted that Queen Elizabeth II would die.
And he's getting excited. You can hear it. He's getting excited, right? So that's the first one. That was 10 hours ago. And then this one's 6 hours ago. So then you have another 10... It's 4 more hours go by. Yeah? 10 hours ago, we're talking about 3 in the afternoon, which is about when he wakes up, isn't it, usually? But he could have been up all night, you don't know. No, I think that's when he wakes up. And then you've got 4 hours go by where he can get drunk or do whatever. And he's got excited by the Nostradamus idea. He's seen it in the newspaper, in the Daily Record, and he's got excited of it. And now he's on there, and he's got, from excited, he's gone down the rabbit hole. And there's no one, like I said this before, this is going to go up on YouTube as an extra bit on what we just said. There's no one there to hold him back to say, hey, you know that Nostradamus is rubbish, don't you? Don't upload that. It's going to make you look fucking stupid. Like, there's no one there to do that, so he's just gone ahead and done it. He's gone right down the rabbit hole. You can imagine him saying to somebody in, like, passing in the future, oh, have you heard about what Nostradamus has said? And then having to say, what? Like, and being too polite to say, all right, okay, you know, Nostradamus. He's got well into that, and he's made a serious TikTok about it. I think I was saying the other day that we have to get on TikTok and shut him down and, like, you know, make our videos to tell everyone what he's like and all this. I don't think we do, actually, because I think he's doing it himself. To be honest, I think TikTok is a bit... I know there's a lot of idiots on there, obviously, but I think they're a bit more savvy because I think some of these commenters just don't give a shit about the channel. They're not subscribing. They don't care, are they? They're just... A TikTok's coming up and they're saying something about a TikTok and moving on. But some of them are spotting quite rapidly that it's a load of BS. So... Like, more people think it's shit than it's good. Okay, now we will cut that for YouTube, and you be good, and if you can't be good, you notice. Right. For you chuffers here, I am gonna play Genshin Impact now because it's 1 o'clock and I do want to do my dailies and see if I can do more than my dailies because I never get to more than my dailies. And